2024. It is now 5:30 p.m. Council, please silence if your phones if you haven't already. And at this time, I would like to go ahead and entertain a call to order, starting with a roll call, starting from my left.
Councilwoman Diane Howard.
Councilman Darrell Honoré.
Mayor Reynolds.
Councilwoman Yolanda Shepherd.
Thank you so much. At this time, Councilmember Diane Howard, could you render a prayer for us tonight?
Yes.
Would you like all of us to stand or?
Whatever position you choose to take,
Okay.
it's fine.
All right. Okay.
Okay. As we position ourselves to pray, Father, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. We give you honor and praise. Father, we humbly ask that you continue to be with us and protect us even when we are ignorant of your presence. Father, we welcome you and ask that you bless this meeting. Father, we pray that you continue to touch our hearts and minds so that we come together as one, a united front to make the best decisions for our community, the city of Lithonia. Father, we thank you for hearing our prayer. We give you all the glory. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you
Amen.
so much. Thank you. All right. At this time, we'll do the approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve tonight's work session, February 19th, 5:30 p.m.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Ayes have it. Thank you so much. Moving forward to discussion items. The first one would be the film. Is Nicole Pemberton here yet? Okay. Is it okay to proceed? Okay. All right. The next item will be Lithonia Amphitheater, the Scout Hut request. Ms. Dawn Massey, you can come forward.
Well, I want to say that I really admire great public speakers, but I am not one. But I'm here tonight on behalf of the Lithonia Downtown Development Authority. And, along with the historic preservation and the city, we're all a team. And our goal is to make this place live, work, and play better. I mean, the whole city better. So I know a lot of you go to the shows at the amphitheater and you've really enjoyed them and things like that. But, currently if a promoter comes to the amphitheater, they say, well, we don't have any public restrooms, so you're going to have to rent some porta potties and, here's some numbers for some tables and things of that nature. But one of the things we're going to be doing to make the amphitheater more competitive and marketable is to buy a new stage. So that's going to be before the season starts. But the reason I'm really here tonight is to talk about the Scout Hut and potentially having the DDA renovate the Scout Hut to include some public restrooms and vending. So this is a very rough draft, and I did it, so that's why it's a rough draft. But it'll give you a kind of an idea of what we're talking about. The building is 40 by 60 feet. It's built on a concrete slab. It's got a metal siding and a metal roof. Currently, it's just used for storage. And it's not new storage. It's not current storage. It is junk. And I'm going to tell you, 65% of it probably needs to go to a dumpster. So anyway, it's just unusable space. So the hut entrance from the back, so if you look where I have exterior door kind of behind the bathroom area, is 50 steps from the top of the amphitheater to this area. And it's a slope. I mean, obviously you all know that it's going uphill. And we'd have to do some kind of pathway or pave something or another. But it has electricity. It has a brand new 4-ton heat vent system, air conditioning system that was installed about a year or so ago. It has had plumbing in the past, so it's either got sewer or septic. I'm not really sure, but that's there. So basically it has everything you need to do a pretty quick renovation. What we're talking about is building some walls, building a ceiling, bathrooms, a vending area. And so our thinking is that people will come in that back door, between the bathrooms and walk into the vending area, and the vending area will be open to the inside as opposed to the outside. And so what I'm really here for tonight is to get some permission from you or a blessing or whatever. The first step would be for us to get some architectural drawings, which we then bring back to you for your approval. Then if all that goes well, we would be looking for some contractors and hopefully we could get it done before the season starts. So there's no promises there, but we could make a good dent in it. So, and the other thing is, of course, the amphitheater really only functions, 5-6 months out of the year.
Mhm.
So then, even during the week and the rest of the time, this is a usable space that the city could use for gardening club meetings. I know, Diane, you have meetings with some of your group, don't you? Or are you on the phone? Anyway.
Yeah, I do, and a place for a meeting, but I
Yeah,
do have a place.
And then, I know there's some other things going on, but anyway, it would just be an upgraded space that the city could use for something. So anyway, so my goal tonight is just a blessing or permission to move forward, that you think this is a good idea, and we'd like to, just kind of, like I say, move forward on it with your,
What's your
I don't know if you need a vote or.
No, we don't
I
need
have
to
a little question. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this
please.
rough drawing, this is the amphitheater?
No, that's the Scout Hut.
The scout.
Okay,
Let's go.
proposed amphitheater, public restrooms and vending area.
Well, let's say this. This is going to be an upgrade for the amphitheater because where the amphitheater will have public restrooms and a vending area. So it is, for our purposes, an upgrade to the amphitheater. But, it's really an upgrade to the building. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You know
Yes.
where the scout hut is, right?
I'm trying to figure,
Okay,
That's
so-
a building, right?
okay,
It's a small building. You know that area where we go around the amphitheater and we
Brenda
end up
Lee Lane.
in front of Olitha's house
Mhm.
in that real rough area of that road. Remember that?
yeah,
Okay. Have you ever noticed this small building sitting on that left side?
is it a stone building?
It's
can't-
metal.
It's a metal, yeah.
green.
It's on the
It's
left
got a
hand
garage
side.
door.
Yeah. That's the old Boy
We never
Scout
been
hut.
to the-
And it's closer,
To the street.
to the street, it's closer to the amphitheater where,
It's at the top of it.
It's top of the hill.
okay, so you're asking to have restrooms in this building
Mhm.
so that,
People that go to the amphitheater can walk up the hill and go to the bathroom without going to a porta potty.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that. I see
okay, so it's probably in the same,
It's in the area.
yeah.
It's in the
Like I
same
You might
said,
have to
area.
take a little walk,
it
but-
is
Mhm.
literally.
But they're walking to go to the porta potty anyway. 'Cause
It is.
it's
Yeah,
sitting
and I'm
off.
sure I
Yeah.
would prefer to use
Yeah.
restroom. than-
And it'll be air conditioned, and it's 50 steps from the
And how
top
many-
of the amphitheater to the Scout Hut.
So you're thinking 4 stalls?
Listen, this
It's
is me.
rough. I know you said it was-
I would have to
The architect.
let an architect make some decisions, but I think 4 would be reasonable, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you could even probably take some of the men.
I know, you
They
take
only
2
need
of them.
2.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You take 2 of them. put
I've
a
never
wall
designed a
for it.
men's restroom before. so.
Okay, so when you say move forward, other than, get permission, what are you asking?
Well, our next step would be to get an architectural drawing. So, I've already gotten one bid, but that we thought it was too expensive, so we'd be looking around. And so once we get the architectural drawing, we'd come back to you, let you take a look at it. And then if you approve it, maybe even vote on it, I don't know. It's going to be a city property, but we want to renovate it. The
Okay,
DDA does.
so you want to renovate it, so where the funds coming from?
We're gonna pay for
LDDA.
Wow.
Well, really and truly, I told you, it's got electricity, it's got a,
Because,
There's a lot, yeah.
Mr. Reynolds put some funds into that.
Yeah.
well, he put that 4-ton air
Air
conditioning
conditioning.
unit in there, yeah.
Mm.
So, but you're really talking about, drywall, insulation, bathrooms, it's not going to be super, it's not going to be cheap, but it's not going to be like $200,000 or anything. So,
Were you wanting to do anything else with this space besides have it accommodate?
For us, that free space that I've got listed, somebody said, well, maybe you could have some vendors in there during the shows. Maybe you could just have tables. I wouldn't want people to just come up there and sit in the air conditioning and hang around all the time. But it could be just about anything we wanted it to be.
Okay, garden club as you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely think it would be a good meeting space. I mean, where else in Lithonia besides here do you have to meet besides the women's club, and that's not always available.
Right.
So,
Okay, thank you. Sorry for so many.
anybody else have some questions?
So she just need consensus. Can she proceed with the architect piece of it and moving forward with it?
I don't have any problem. I would say
She just needs your blessing.
blessing.
You got 2 blessings.
Okay,
Got 3.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you. All right. Nicole Pemberton, not available yet? Okay. All right. For discussion, we have Ms. Ashley Waters, City Clerk, the rezoning ordinance. This is the first read for 2501 Park Drive.
Correct. And it'll be followed by the first read for Magnolia as well. So what I'll do is just read the preamble of the ordinance. You guys do not have a copy in front of you. Not yet. You will for the next meeting because you will vote. That'll be your official vote. So this is just us getting the first read out of the way. We have voted to approve, but the ordinance requires a little more, a few more steps. So the first is an ordinance by the mayor and city council of the city of Lithonia, Georgia, to rezone property located at 2501 Park Drive from NCD Neighborhood Conservation District to OI Office Institution District to provide severability, to provide a penalty, to provide or repeal of conflicting ordinances, to provide an adoption and an effective date, and to provide other lawful purposes. That is for 2501. The second, an ordinance by the mayor and city council of the city of Lithonia, Georgia, to rezone property located at 6853 and 6859 Magnolia Street from R60 Single Family Residential District to RM75 Multifamily Residential District, to provide severability, to provide a penalty, to provide or repeal of conflicting ordinances, to provide for an adoption and an effective date, and to provide for other lawful purposes. Again, that is for 6853 and 6859 Magnolia Street. And those two are your first read.
Sorry to interrupt. The applications for RM75 don't really be 85 2 units to take 14 85.
And 75. Okay, so we'll need to get that corrected with the city attorney. She sent me over the ordinances. Thanks for letting me know.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it is RM 85 instead of RM 75. Okay, I'll have an amendment sent over. We'll probably run through that first read again, first meeting in March.
That's Magnolia Street, right?
Yes, ma'am. That is 6853 and 6859. Our next topic, I'll let you go down.
All right, next discussion item will be the resolution for the necessity for the Urban Redevelopment Agency.
Yes, ma'am. What I did provide you all. Oops. I think I just seen Miss Emma walk in.
She's on the way.
I just seen her walk in. Note the time. Note the time. Okay. Okay, so what I did provide you all is a brief memorandum from our city attorney's office regarding the URA. I did not present the resolution to you all, but it will be on our next council meeting. I'll get it to you in advance so you can read over it if you have any questions. So I know I've come to you all and asked about how you felt about establishing the URA, what it would do, and how we would use it. The goal is to, of course, identify spaces and areas of blight, which we've done thanks to some past research by you all in the blight ordinance. And it also empowers us to purchase real estate, sell real estate in the name of City of Lithonia, and as far as to manage those properties as well. We will also enter into eventually a memorandum of an MOU, memorandum of understanding, and an IGA between URA and City Council of Lithonia, which means we will work together as an agency and as City Council to get things done within the city. It also allows for us to transfer funds to and fro and act in that manner. The first step to establishing this agency is the resolution for necessity. So that's why I'm kind of bringing this to you. That is basically stating, hey, we do have some areas of blight in our city and some areas of redevelopment that we would like to focus on. And we know we have, we could produce projects where we can improve these areas. On top of that resolution will be a map of the city of Lithonia and some specific details about areas of concern and areas that we would like to take a look at for redevelopment. That resolution will come before you all, like I said, the first meeting in March. We can talk and hash out any difference. If you see anything you want included in the URA, you would like that agency to be able to do something special or different, we can include or eliminate however you guys would like to tailor it to the city. I have Alicia's ear right now and a bit of her attention. So while I have it, y'all send me any questions you have, any input, and I can get it into this resolution.
Okay.
So that will come before, like again, March, first meeting in March, which I think is the 9th. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. You guys have any questions for me? Okay, I'm out of here. Great, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. All right, zoning ordinance amendment. Chief, you ready? All right, thank you. We're now joined by Councilwoman Amelia Inman. Thank you. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You don't have this in front of you because it's 80 pages. The attorney sent it to us today. It's not for a vote. We just need a consensus to see if this council would like to move forward. So in our zoning ordinance, it calls for a planning and zoning commission. The attorney has recommended that we amend the ordinance to the planning and zoning commission being the council, instead of having to have a whole separate commission. So the basic conversation tonight was getting a consensus, see if that's something council would like to go forth with, so that way they can draft a new ordinance and make the proper adjustment.
What's your thoughts, council?
So committee for
A
zoning.
committee for planning and zoning. So the discussion was if we have a committee to find 3 people at minimum that could be on a committee that are not currently serving on something else. So we are small, very small.
And council be
No, so
reminded, you are
That's what
already
you're
doing this now.
Yeah,
You're already doing it
That's
now,
why
so-
they just want to make the
Yeah.
adjustment in the ordinance. It's something we're already doing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this would be used if they have any appeals or anything like that.
And it actually is used on basically everything you vote on now, everything that Mr. Johnson pretty much brings before you.
We are functioning as a.
Yeah,
planning
you're
and
functioning
zoning.
as it right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're just making it official, so
Correct.
I don't have a problem with it.
What about you? You okay? You okay?
By the way, we've been talking about this for like 6 months.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you. Splice One project. Gotta come back.
In reference to SPLOST One, I'm gonna touch on it briefly. I know we spoke before about speaking with the attorney to take some of our SPLOST dollars from transportation, move it over to facility improvements and things of that nature, because our transportation fund was heavily loaded with SPLOST in 2017, but it was also limited to certain roadways in 2017. So just because it's a transportation improvement doesn't necessarily mean we can automatically go ahead and do it. That's since hit a little bump in the road. The attorneys, Mr. Denmark and Alicia, are now currently working on figuring out a new way to write a new resolution to do that. So it's a work in progress. I've been on the phone with them today. So they should have some. So once we have an idea of what we can legally do with, we'll proceed then. But we don't want to make any moves just yet.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. All right, is Nicole Pemberton available here yet? No? Okay. All right, we will proceed to our next discussion item. This will be the SPLOST 2, the bond. Mr. Ed Wall, our bond attorney. You ready?
I'm just
Oh.
saying officially,
Yes,
he's here to present the rates and what he found from the banks. He
Right.
submitted to how many banks? How many banks did it go to?
3.
No, how many banks did you submit?
20.
20 banks, 3 came back.
Got you.
We'll talk in the executive session about the other one.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Mayor and Council. How y'all
Good
doing?
evening.
Wonderful. How are you?
So we received the lowest interest rate back from Regions. This was on January the 31st. And remember, it's a 6-year bond equal to your 6-year SPLOST. The rate for non-callable, where you can't pay it off early if rates were to decline or you collected taxes at a quicker rate, that rate was 3.73%. The one I wanted to recommend to you is one where you can prepay it early without any prepayment penalty after 3 years. That's on May the 1st, 27. And that rate was 3.87. JP Morgan Chase was right behind them. The non-callable was 373, the same. The callable was 394. That was about 7 basis points higher interest rate. PNC Financial gave us a rate 4.7 non-callable, and they declined to bid on the one that could be prepaid. And those rates were on January 31st. Last week, the inflation number came out, and it was higher than expected. They were expecting 3.7%. It came out at 3.9. So interest rates jumped up because now they don't think the Federal Reserve will actually lower rates in March. And so the 10-year Treasury went from 387 to 430. So I asked all the banks this morning in anticipation of this meeting to give me new rates because those were rates locked as of that date. You know, they changed day to day. JP Morgan came back with me this morning with a rate for the non-callable at 4.24 versus the 394. So that's what, 30 basis points higher in interest rate. And then today's President's Day, so all the banks were closed. The other two didn't respond yet.
Okay.
And, you know, the last meeting we had in January, I didn't know what rates we were getting. I think I estimated about 4.5%. So we had 394, 387 as of January 31. As of today, it was 424 from one of them.
So your yeah, I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
so your lowest one was Chase with the not without the prepayment penalty.
So the lowest one was Regions at 3.87, but that was as of January 31st.
That's the same with Chase, I guess.
And so Chase was 3.94.
That's the new rate.
So the new rate's 4.24,
Oh, you did get a rate.
but I didn't get a new rate from Regions yet because today was a holiday
Okay.
for them.
So I guess once we vote, if we were to vote on it, it may differ again. I guess right up until the day.
Right, I would encourage y'all maybe not to vote on it tonight. Give me a chance to
that it
let
come
all
down.
3 of them reply.
Yeah.
You know, and they all, okay, great. And they only hold it, you know, for a few days. And so I'd get them to quote it the morning of y'all's meeting, and then whatever y'all decide to do, I'd lock it the next morning, the next day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Arnett.
Yeah, last time you're supposed to get with the city accountant. Have you done that?
With the who now? With the account, the
For the city.
CPA?
Yeah.
So she and I talked, and she was going to set up a time for us to have a Zoom call, but I didn't hear back from her. But she and I did talk for a while.
All right. How about if we have a financial meeting with everybody? So
That'd be
that way, you know, we won't be going back saying, you know, I talk and this is what it is. And I would like to see the other 2 bids too
Yes,
from the bank. And then we'll, you know, just have a financial committee meeting.
right. So, you know, and PNC was off the chart high, so they're really out. And so it's really between Regions and JP Morgan.
And Chase has a prepayment penalty.
So they had one rate there, one that they gave me this morning. The one without the prepayment penalty was 4.24%. And the one where you couldn't prepay it was 4.03.
And how much we have to pay for that on the points?
What do you mean?
For the prepayment and not the prepayment.
So there's no penalty. The option A is where you can't repay it till maturity. That rate's 4.03. And then if you wanted the option to prepay it anytime after May 1 of 27, anytime after 3 years, the rate's 4.24. So a way to look at that, Councilman Honore, is having the ability to prepay it's costing you 21 basis points.
Are we paying any points on this rate here?
No, sir. There's no origination fee for the banks.
I mean, points on the interest rate.
No, sir. It's just a flat interest rate.
We'll talk all about that.
No points.
So it is sort of a prepayment penalty if you can't prepay it before 3 years.
Well, so one's you can't prepay it at all for 6 years. One is after 3 years, you can prepay it with no penalty.
You have to make so much money.
Before they got to prepay.
I don't like to ever have my clients issue debt. You can't prepay it. I like
Yeah.
always. So I always make them bid both ways. The bank would like it to where you can't ever prepay it.
Right. I would like to be able to prepay it too, without a penalty.
Right. So you got two banks that are neck and neck, Regions and JP Morgan Chase. And the rate as of January 31, Regions was 387 for the ability to prepay, and JP Morgan Chase was 394. And so that's real close to one another. But the rates have changed since January 31st.
Both of them had the 3 year.
Both of them had
Wait,
3.
period.
That's the way I made them bid on it. I sent out a bid sheet and I required it that way.
Can we set up that meeting?
That's what we were just talking about. What do you think about 4 o'clock the day before the meeting, that day of the meeting? Just so you have.
The day of the council meeting?
Yeah.
So you can pull the rates that morning, you get paid for the rates that morning, and then you have a meeting with you all, and then council all of us at 4, and then our regular council meeting.
That's on March the 4th.
Yeah, I don't know if that gives enough time to discuss the budget and things like that and how it's gonna affect the budget and.
Okay, you
How much
understand
money?
that these rates change like every day.
I mean, you can't even expect it to be lower or higher. If you could do that, you could be a millionaire.
Mm.
But the rates and stuff, I mean, it is what it is. But we definitely need to have stuff in line and paperwork and discussion and see how this thing folds out.
And Madam Mayor, just like he said, I don't know which way rates are going, but they spiked up unusually. Remember the 10-year treasury, 387 to 430. I think rates are
Don't
going to
worry
go
about
back.
that. When did it happen?
When did it happen?
Yeah,
Last week.
last week. It happens every day, though, right?
But it moves around every day. But that big so rates have been the highest in October of last year, and they've been trending all down. October, November, December, January, they've been trending down because everybody thought the Federal Reserve had tamed inflation and they were going to start lowering rates. But inflation came out last week 390 instead of what everybody expected at 370, and the market has overreacted to that. You know how Wall Street just overreacts to stuff. So you delaying it. I don't think. I don't know now, but you delaying it ain't gonna hurt you. I think rates may trend back down. But y'all know I don't know that.
Well, we'll get with the accountant and see. I don't want to force, run out of time. Well, I guess if we're not voting on it that day, that's fine. But, as long as we have a meeting, discuss everything and everybody have enough time to review the documents and ask questions and then get answers and analyze those answers so we have a way we can make a professional decision without just hearing things. Like to see everything in writing. Because, it's a lot of money and, we paying.
I'm asking just about, I
Okay.
understand your.
All
Are
right.
you looking to do this before our next council
No.
meeting? Or are you
We could,
looking to past our-
we could do a separate meeting because we're gonna run out of time if we're gonna do it an hour before, or something.
No, they didn't say we're doing it an hour before our meeting. It was the day before our meeting.
Oh, day before?
Yes.
The day before, it can be the day of.
Day before.
However,
Mhm.
usually, I just need to you all are getting all of this information and as of now,
Mhm.
now a special copy.
Okay.
I say the day of, because that way we know we'd be here for the meeting as well. Yeah.
And one thing, Council Honoré, lawyers charge you, so
Mhm.
I didn't have them prepare any legal documents because they charge. And so where we were in January, y'all weren't sure if you're gonna issue bonds or not. So I told you I would work for free and get you something concrete. And so if you want documents in writing, I can get those, but lawyers probably don't charge you.
Well, it's for the citizens, because you're here present, you say you're our financial advisor,
Yes, sir?
never saw you before.
Right.
All right, I don't even know if you know our budget amount for the city.
I do. I had to look at your audits
Mhm.
before I knew what kind of
But
interest
you
rates you
you appear in front of us and you give us a big speech about all the stuff and all this money that we're gonna make, not make money, but just spend money.
get. Yes, sir.
And for the welfare of the citizens' tax money that we handle. And of course, everybody's gonna get paid, but the citizens, correct? So we're gonna take this money, put it in an account, pay money out to get it, put it in an account and spend money monthly to pay for it.
Yes.
So it's not, and we don't have any project whatsoever that we could put together to generate more money. So we just spend the money.
But so the whole idea, I ain't trying to sell it to you, but the whole idea of borrowing money is you want to do a project instead of wait 6 years to build it. You
We
wanna do
can
it
borrow
now.
money at any time. We have that money in the bank.
Well, there's no need to do it if you're collecting the money. In other words, only reason to borrow the money is you have a project you want to do
Correct.
before the sales tax comes in.
Yeah, that's what we need, projects. So,
Right.
instead
So
of
I don't
just
know what the projects
sitting
are.
in an account.
We
just
have
gonna-
projects.
Yes, ma'am.
We do.
Sitting in an account, we're just gonna pick at it till it's gone, and we're gonna still be paying on it. So I'm gonna say if we're gonna be handle the finances of the city, we need to make sure everything's in writing and put before the city council to vote on. It'll be in the minutes and everything documented.
Right. And so I
'Cause,
just had
word, I would never even for my own good make a decision just on words being
oh
spoken.
no, and I'm not trying to get you to do that. I'm just saying I didn't have the lawyers prepare anything because I didn't want to spend your money to get that done.
That's why I want everybody to get together. So
Yes.
that's all it is,
Yes.
let's do that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
appreciate
Thank
your
y'all.
work. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just for clarity, is our
Yes.
consensus to wait and out, like get a lump sum of money from every month that's coming in, or are we saying we definitely need it? Because I know that was still a question that was in the air.
But we haven't talked to the council. We just guessing at it. That's what I'm saying. We get everybody together and we figure out
Mhm.
who's the benefit of the city. Are we gonna change our budget? Do we have to get rid of the employee to pay for it?
No, not at all.
Or use the money to pay for it? The money that we borrow, stuff like that. So we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, you'll have that information. Okay. All right, moving forward, not the home, tiny home,
Tiny home corner.
tiny home ordinance. You ready?
Friend, the microphone here.
Yeah, we need you.
While we're getting set up, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was tasked by the city clerk to look at drafting a tiny home ordinance. And I think it was also triggered by a call I got from a real estate agent for Pine Mountain Road who was proposing tiny homes. Not officially yet, but that was what the call was about. And it's trending nationwide. It's really a huge topic of discussions, particularly among planners. So
Yeah, meanwhile, we got to turn around.
So why we're welcoming tiny homes is we're accommodating developments that include tiny homes. And in the profession, they're called cottage home developments, CHDs. And the draft ordinance that's for discussion only, this would be a text amendment to the ordinance, so we have to have the public hearings. Anyway, an associate of mine and I who worked together on the tiny home ordinance think that the special land use permit, subject to approval by mayor and council would be the way to go. There are other ways. An early idea was to have a district, a zoning district, just like the RM 75 and RM 85 and R60, have a zoning district stand alone to accommodate. But finally, we came down on having development standards in the ordinance that reference tiny home development. Next slide, please. So what's proposed is that CHDs be established in these zoning districts. There's 4 there, R85, R60, RA5, and EDGE. So it would be a use in those, only those zoning districts, subject to approval of a special land use permit by mayor and council.
Okay, thank you.
So what tiny homes are all about is social interaction. It's like a gathering of the wagons almost. There's open space that most of these developments nationwide, and I should say there's one in Clarkston, which I would really like us to be able to go visit that on a field trip. And there's one in College Park. College Park's kind of pricey, I thought, but I guess there's people working right there at the airport making big salaries.
Per home, how much were they? Starting at 275,
And that's for what, maybe 300 square feet.
300.
So you'll see in the next slide, the internal circulation will be limited to pedestrian pathways. So you wouldn't, the lots aren't, if you adopt this draft, the lots are not large enough to have the house and the car on the same lot. You're talking about 400 square feet maximum. Well, a 20 by 10 garage. And here is the one in College Park. You can see there are 3 areas that are this sort of like village green. They're those things that look like, I don't know what they look like, gold circles. Yeah, those, and you can note that the driveway goes around and there's parking on the perimeter. And the idea is, because there's a lot of literature on this, particularly out of Clarkston. So the idea is to park your car and you have to walk past your neighbors, maybe you'll talk to them. So you got the village green on this one, and this is the development in Clarkston. Next. So right now in the ordinance, we want everything to look like what has been developed in the past. Something like this would be subject to planning commission approval, but right now this is not what we're looking for. And I bring this up because if we don't allow something like this, next slide, then we're going to miss out on, in my opinion anyway, we'll miss out on a lot of developers because they're building to a certain market. This is the Crescent Bungalows, and it's more reminiscent of what we have on the ground already, our historic district. And this is from Clarkston. Yes, that's, yeah, there's a gathering space there, and it's all about being neighborly and looking out for each other, and it's really compact. You'll see when we get the lot size, how compact. So the tract size, that means the development. How big is this development someone's bringing in? 20,000 square feet is recommended. And 8 tiny homes, a maximum of 24. Individual lot size, 1,600 square feet. Right now, the lowest lot size in the city is 6,000. And most of the literature allows for 400 square feet. We thought it was a little more flexible to allow 600 square feet, and they're a maximum, and there's no minimum. Minimum is going to be determined by the residential code. So much space, square footage per bedroom, per bathroom, kitchen, and they come up with a number. In terms of the building height, maximum of 18 feet for 1 story. And there's one slide that shows stairs, so these can be 2-story. The ones with the deck on top, I'm not sure I would consider that 2-story, but definitely the stairs in the unit itself. Next. Yeah, those are the stairs I was talking about. So you can see this is College Park, and it's, to me, it's very upscale. And if you have 2 stories, it accommodates a little more living space, obviously. Next slide, please. This is that thing I was talking about earlier, the circles, and it's just a gathering space. There's seating in the middle, and we'd like to have a village green where it's only an 800-foot maximum walk for residents. And the amenities could be a picnic shelter, community garden, water feature, fire pit, outdoor theater screen, or exercise apparatus. Next, please. So what interested me initially in looking at tiny homes, we have ordinances that pretty much preclude mobile homes.
Modular.
Yeah, modular is factory built and it's be delivered on a truck. I used to work for a modular builder. If you're old enough, you recognize Nights Inn motels, and they had a lot of apartments. They had senior housing, and these were 2 units. They would be trucked to the site, taken off by a crane, and set down on a permanent foundation. There's one project I was involved in Statesboro at Georgia Southern, still there as far as I know. So why I bring that up is we prohibit mobile homes, most ordinances, but all of a sudden tiny homes are going to be coming in on wheels. So our opinion is that they should be put on a permanent foundation and they would match what we have on the ground already. And that's for stick built on site and also for modular units, which are factory built. And they could be either have a basement, which probably not, but if they wanted to, it shouldn't be an issue with that, or crawl space on piers or concrete slab. Some jurisdictions like Pine Lake, they don't allow concrete slab construction. I'm not sure why. Next, please. So we left some of this open to the market. So we're not dictating what a developer, because if a developer doesn't know, they're going to hire architects and landscape architects and civil engineers that do know. And what we'd like to see is community garages. They would be on common areas. They'd be maintained by the homeowners association, and you could lease a garage. And people say, well, garages in apartment developments, and I've seen them on the south side, right there in Riverdale. So I think some people, when you're paying $45,000 for a car, if you can afford it, you probably want to get a garage too. But the garages wouldn't be on a private lot; they would be on that common area, like you saw in the one picture. And since we don't want people renting or leasing a garage that don't even live there, there would be a stipulation that you can't have more garages than the number of tiny homes. Next, please. And in that same vein, if there's not enough space, we're not recommending that, we're recommending that we do not allow accessory buildings like sheds. You can have all the other things there. And accessory structures would be subject to administrative approval. That wouldn't come to mayor and council. It would be subject probably to the zoning administrator's approval. Next, please. So I already mentioned no parking along that pedestrian pathway and no parking on individual building lots, trying to keep this setting very pedestrian. The ratio for parking would be 1.5 spaces, realizing that people are going to have guests. And parking, just like the open space, Village Green, shouldn't be any further than 800 feet. 800 feet is about 2 blocks. Next, please. This would be for expansion. Someone builds a development on 8 acres, say, and they'd like to expand it. That will be subject to approval by mayor and council. And those 4 criteria, the architectural style would have to be consistent with what's on the ground. I don't think we want to see the new modern look and then right next door a bungalow. I don't think developers would do that. And the site plan, it fosters walking. The expanded development would have to reserve common open space. And then low impact development it's all about reducing your stormwater runoff. And you can do a better job. If you ever go through the parking lots, they always hump up those little islands. It just has the water running off there onto the pavement. Why not put them in a concave shape so that you can trap stormwater and reduce the amount of land you have to tie up in stormwater control. Next, please. So there's this thing called the Georgia Property Owners Association Act. I didn't know about it until I started working on tiny homes. And just like a homeowners association, they're mandatory. If you're going to live there, you have to be a part of the homeowners association. So at closing, there will be this opt-in, and that will be consistent with the GPOAA. And it'll be recorded on a property deed or a final plat. Next, please. This is about amenities. Got that from the literature. Seemed a little small bore. We're going to worry about whether people have a separate closet or not, but this is what I found in, so we had some draft ordinances. There's one for South Georgia that we dissected and took what we thought was the good part. So just a list of facilities that you'd like to see in the tiny home unit. Next, please. So this charges the homeowners association with maintaining all the structures, all the equipment, all private yards. You wouldn't have to be out there mowing your lawn. They would maintain the pavement on all parking spaces, certainly the buildings for all garages, and council will have to decide whether they want to allow that developer to dedicate streets. I'd have to talk with a few people, including the city attorney, to see if that's a good thing. You don't do that for apartment developments. It's a private road as soon as you get off the city right away. And I wouldn't be recommending, but I would like a little more input on that. So as private streets, they'd be maintained by the homeowners association. I think that's, yeah. I'm sure you'll have, they have a copy of the draft. So, you know, a new concept in a way for Lithonia, because if somebody came in today and said, oh, I want to build a tiny home over here and it's only going to be 200 square feet. And then you got the neighbors on both sides, maybe 1,800 square feet, maybe 2,200 square feet. I will say there's one under construction in Pine Lake. It's 190 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? How are they doing that?
But you can have a deck. All of them have to feature some sort of amenity, you know, a yard, or so you can have some outdoor living space. That's
Nice.
kind of
It's
compensates for. You know, it's not for everybody. I'd get claustrophobia.
Mhm. I've seen these small spaces.
Okay, I have a question. I was reading your briefing. You said that it would be a good idea to do a workshop before the public hearing, like with the citizens, to introduce tiny homes to
Yeah,
the
'cause this will
community.
be foreign
Okay,
to a lot of people.
okay,
You know,
okay.
I mean, there's companies now. I can't name them. I don't guess. Maybe Amazon. They're selling what's amounts to a shed.
Mm.
You know, and there's a
Paid
lot.
$23,000 for that house.
Yeah. Got to go outside to change your mind.
Yeah.
Get one from Home Depot cheaper.
I have a question. So this is for this development, but in the city, we have a lot of houses that sit on a lot of property. And so if we introduce tiny homes, what if someone wants to put a tiny home, you know, or two behind their house? Because I've seen some lots that go all the way back that really could accommodate a tiny home.
We'd probably call that an ADU, accessory dwelling unit. You're allowed to have one on your property, and that one would be on the same lot. These are different. Each of these tiny homes will be on an individual lot.
Okay, so someone asked about adding one that would be different. We'd have to say no to that because if they had enough property to accommodate a tiny home.
Well, they could do one. If I want to call it an ADU, is it kind of splitting the hair there?
But it's going to come up.
Yeah, we have an accessory dwelling unit ordinance, and we accommodate those, but it's only one per lot. So you have the principal dwelling, And a lot of people are switching, people, older people like myself, they're
Yeah,
finding that they either
this
live in the
switching,
ADU and they're gonna rent the bigger house.
right, so we're going by the number of tiny homes and not what the lot would accommodate. I mean, because you can almost have a village behind your house. I mean, if your lot accommodates that.
If they want to subdivide their lot and have one tiny home on each lot, they could do it. But the ADU is.
But how would
allows
you do that if the property is behind the main house?
that. Well, yeah, you'd have to subdivide it. We'd have to see what the distance would be. We don't want a flag lot. A flag lot is where you drive back into a lot, and then there's the development back there. So you have a house behind a house.
Right.
And it's most subdivision ordinances, including our own, have a certain distance, maximum distance, where they can't go any further. But someone who has a big lot and lives in a house on that lot and wants to have an ADU, they can have that. But they can't have a tiny home because that's on individual lots. And the minimum, if you adopt the ordinance as drafted, is 4.
Okay, I'm sorry. Will you just explain ADU? What's the difference?
ADU is intended it's an accessory dwelling unit on the same lot as the principal dwelling. And you can only have one under the ordinance.
And it's a house, not a garage.
Yeah, it's a house. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So to her question, because I'm thinking now, so if I wanted to do a tiny home on my property, I couldn't do it right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's not big enough.
Okay.
The
Because
smallest
what?
is 6,000 square feet. I mean,
Okay.
it's-
Yeah,
The lot size is 6,000 square feet. The
Mhm.
unit size, depending on what zoning you're in, but it's anywhere between 12 and 1,600 square feet for the dwelling.
Okay.
So
So
that's way bigger than a
does
tiny
that call
home.
for another ordinance? If that was to happen?
So tell me somebody comes in and they've got a lot and
Mhm.
they want to build a tiny home on that lot.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to build more than, I don't know,
They want to maximize that lot by putting as many tiny homes that could accommodate.
Yeah.
If we looked at it that way.
yeah, I think it was 8 and 24, minimum of 8, maximum of 24.
Okay.
Because I seen it where a resident out of Conyers, 8 minutes away, they have a nice home. But when you go in the back of their home, there's a tiny home in the back of it, and their daughter lives there. So that's why I'm asking, is that something that is allowed in the city of Lithonia or not?
It is. That's the ADU.
But he said one, right? You can have one
Yeah, that's.
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how much property you have back there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And to me, it would make more sense if you have a great big old lot,
Mhm.
maybe a half an acre back there. And it seems like instead of being limited to one, that you would be able to build as many as that lot accommodates. You don't want to overcrowd it, but if there was a set size for the house and the lot and how many you could put on that lot, to me that makes more sense, and that makes more of maximizing the house, your property, as well as inviting more people into the city. For some of us folks that have these big old lots and we're doing nothing but cutting grass every year.
So subdividing the lots. Explain what that means, because what I thought I heard you say was you can subdivide the lot and add additional dwelling units.
Yeah, right now it's either 8
More than one.
minimum or 24 maximum.
Right.
So 24 is a pretty big number. I mean, you could say larger.
So somebody could, if they had an acre, they could subdivide the lot and put an additional unit on it.
Yeah, because
So they
the
can.
lot size is 1,600. The acre is 43,560.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. You've got parking, you've got common open space. I don't know how big that lot is. They called it about a Pine Mountain lot. That was what the realtor told me about.
This is mostly because we had stuff left at home. So the east most of the that we are training development, because we got a lot of land. When we started talking about accessory development, subdividing circles, we're getting a little deeper in the weeds, but that will also be included in the book. So I just wanted to know like that's the discussion between the two or we need some information point just so that you all know all aspects.
Yes, I think it's something that we've probably been having in the back of our mind
Mhm.
the whole time, how we can maximize, our property without just having to cut grass every year.
Exactly.
But does it have to be 1,600 square feet?
It doesn't have to. Like I said, I have an associate. He retired from Fayette County after 33 years. He's sharp as a tack. And we did a lot of research on this ordinance.
Mhm.
Looked at different models. And 1,600 feet, we did some sketches. I mean, we're not locked into that. But the idea, and you saw the one from College Park, they're tight. I mean, if you don't want to live like that, you're not going to be moving there. But it does, I don't want to say it's for millennials because of the pricing, but that will be the target market in my mind.
I think it's for, honestly, it is kind of like really diverse market. Like you say, even for people that are older, they want to downsize,
Exactly.
So they're more so the target. But that's all my questions. I was just curious about that square footage stuff.
Okay. All right. We're done with tiny homes, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Police Department update. Chief, you ready?
Good evening, Council,
Good
Madam
evening.
Mayor.
Good evening, Major.
We just bring in one update on the February 8th at 7101 Swift Street, the J-Way Supermarket. They had a report about armed robbery. Officers responded, and it was a true armed robbery. The two clerks, a male and a female, were struck upside the head by a man with a gun, and an unknown amount of money was stolen from the location. Since that time, we've been able to work up a suspect and take out warrants. And as of this morning, was actually hitting locations trying to bring the subject into custody, responsible for the armed robbery. And we're continuing to enforce traffic laws, all ordinance and laws of the city of Lithonia, and especially the truck route we're working with. The Department of Public Safety, they're coming out to also make sure the trucks coming through the city, even if they're here for business, they're doing inspections on them to try to deter them from cutting through and coming through the city. Any questions?
Thank you.
So I don't know if anybody's familiar, Doreen Carter's fence got hit by 18-wheeler.
Huh?
I was wondering what happened.
Yeah, so her fence got hit by 18-wheeler.
What 18-wheeler doing?
That's the same thing we said. So we found that we were able to locate
Truck.
didn't locate the truck. We figured out who it was, the driver, owner, and truck within an hour or so. The state is actually working to handle him. So we got the state involved on that one. Because he's from, Union City, right? Yeah, Union City.
The last couple of times they busted up those curbs, we had to pay for it.
So this time, utilizing some camera system that we have here in the city, we were able to figure out who it was right away.
Praise.
Cheaper that one. I was bombarded on what was it, Saturday? About was it Henry? The parking lot. A lot of Arabian Mountain people are there, so they ask, "What are we doing?" And
Henry.
whoever the guy is that does
Harry.
Harry.
Oh, you talking about RFPs for the parking lot?
So can we get that from him? And
So the RFP, he's working with his team to get an RFP done on that. We will speak about that.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna do the city administrator report real quick.
We like to see you go all the way down there and then come back.
Yeah. You want me to walk?
Yeah, good. Do that right quick.
the administrative report. So as Monday of last week, we got everything green light on our grant. All that's good to go. We're working on. We have a meeting. Myself, with Shepherd, and the mayor are going to meet with Joyce about the resource center, get that squared away and get it going. We have ordered the stuff for the police department to get us going, the new radios and all that. So the grant is good to go. Finally, yes.
How are you looking at the cars? Are they out here or what?
Cars,
They still
we
getting
should
out
have
to
3 of them this week.
Okay.
So the one person's car is going to be an extended ETA. The case for his, the case for his car is on back order.
Oh, no.
So, but yeah, they're striped. They had almost everything done last week. They just got finished with the thing.
You're afraid I did. I don't know why, but I am.
Everything. That's all we have on the city administration.
You said, when was the meeting for, that was gonna take place?
We're working on getting talk to. Yeah, I talked to her last week and didn't know the exact time. So,
Any questions?
questions?
Administrative questions? All right, thank you. All right, next up will be mayor's report real quickly, because I know we have to go into executive session tonight real quick. Say thank you to all council members that came out, what day was that? Saturday for Bruce Street. And a special shout out to LDDA. Tell them thank you for coming, because the LDDA members was there as well. So I want to give my appreciation. Thank you for coming. And one more small thing. We have a visitor today. I want her to stand up. This is Miss Nikki Davis with our Lithonia Housing Authority, the executive director. So I just want to formally say thank you for coming in today. You have anything to say or anything you want to say to us?
I wanted to make sure that I start coming to the council meeting and let you guys know that the Lithonia housing is working.
Yes.
There's a lot of things done over
Right.
here. It definitely, we have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. And you guys will definitely see more from us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Those are the only 2 things I had.
And I wish I could have made it Saturday, y'all.
It's
I wish
so
someone had
nice.
told me. I wish someone had told me or reminded me or something. Like I was until someone texted me while it was already going. I'm like already on the other side of town.
It's all right.
Guess what? We're getting ready to have our informative brochure.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we want to hear that.
Yes.
Oh, but they are accepting pledges, anything, donations. What is it? The deadline, the end of this month
Yeah, but
for the Bruce Street School, the 29th. Yeah.
but then she said she's still always collecting money. So.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the official pledge comes to the 29th, but they will have money or take a
Okay. So he's asking a question about, did you get the band on Saturday?
They were awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
thank you, because I think that was some really decent
Tiny.
input.
Yeah.
So she.
Yeah, and they're coming back. Actually, I don't know if you know, Miss Hazel Gonzalez got in front of them with me standing there. They'll be back. I think it's May and September. Yeah, yeah. So we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Any council member updates? Council
No,
member.
just ditto to what you just said. The fundraiser, Bruce Street fundraiser, was fantastic, and I had a good time.
All right.
Me too. Enjoyed it.
Awesome.
I had a great time.
Awesome. Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll just wait till if we can put on the agenda to talk about the Lithonia lookbook. Ashley, that would be great.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to mention.
What's the name of that again? Lithonia what?
Lookbook.
Lookbook. All right. So, is there a need for executive session? Who said yes?
Your chief.
Yes.
All right, council. I need a motion to go in executive session, please.
I motion to go into executive session.
And I need to know if it's litigation. Okay, personnel, okay.
I move that we go into executive session for personnel.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. We'll be back.
Oh, yeah, you have to go out. No one will be in here. Yeah, you just. I'll see you. Let me know.
And tell her to come.
Ready. All right, we are now back into our normal work session. It is still February 19th, 2024. The time now is 7:04 p.m. We made it out of executive session. It was due to personnel. At this time, I'm ready for council to make a motion on what we discussed.
Everybody looked at her.
I'd like to make a motion to eliminate our 5th public works position, full-time position, temporarily, and disperse half of that 5th salary to the remaining 4 employees.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any,
Effective immediately. Let me say that. Effective immediately.
have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. At this time, I would need a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
All righty.
Oh, that was good. That's 2 hours.
Well, we need to come back and get our tablet.